Thanksgiving, well, almost Thanksgiving, pre-Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving holiday 2013, and I have been wanting to announce this for a really long time, but we wanted to do it at a really special time of the year. And here they are. Closures are finally here. Yay! Finally here. Been a long time coming. And I wanted to, before we jump right into showing you the units and the pieces and talking to you about the specs, I wanted to give you some quick information. Okay, so the Design by Nature line, we have in lace closures, all right? Design by Nature is going to be made in lace closures. Every single texture in the Design by Nature line will be made with lace, and the Russian Fede will be made in, in silk, all right? So Russian Fede is in silk, Design by Nature is in lace, all right? Based on demand, if there are demands to have it vice versa or others, we may look at changing that in the future. So stay tuned and you know, keep it locked and see what we have coming up in the future. But for now, Design by Nature will be in lace, Russian Fede will be in silk. Really quick, because I know somebody's gonna ask, I am wearing the Design by Nature textured straight in 16, 18, 18, 20, and 2022, and plus a closure. So, and I have in a 14-inch closure. So, and I love this textured straight. And when you say relaxed, true relaxed texture, that is what it is giving me, and I am so excited. You guys haven't seen me in black hair in a really long time, but that was just a quick little info about what I'm wearing. Let's go right to the studio and start talking closures. Okay, all right, let's jump right into it. All right, the number one feature, and first we're gonna start off with lace closures for the Design by Nature collection. The number one feature that I wanna point out to you, the lace is reinforced, okay? So reinforced lace edges. Very, very, very important, all right? I wanna show you what the contrast would be. This is a lace closure that is not reinforced. So you see it's just basically one piece of lace with hair knotted onto the lace. Here's the problem with that. When you start sewing this on install after install and you're taking your needle and you're poking through the edges of this closure, your lace is gonna rip over time, okay? Any lace can rip, but when you don't have the edges reinforced, you run a greater risk of damaging your investment, okay? So this is not what we were shooting for, okay? Not what you want, all right? You wanna go for something with a reinforced edge. All right, so that's number one, okay? Number two, let's talk bleached knots. Okay, now what I am holding in my hands now is a Design by Nature deep wave closure, okay? All right, and the closures, by the way, come in lengths 14 and 18, all right? So you would go for your 14 if you have a shorter length install, go for the 18 if you have a longer length install. All right, bleached knots. Let's see if you can see that. This will make it a little bit easier to see. We're just gonna focus this a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, very good. Do you see there? You don't see any dark spots. All right, very, very light, very light. When the hair is knotted onto the lace base, all right, those knots create little dark dots, all right? And we lightly bleach the knots so that it gives a more invisible appearance. So this unit, what you're looking at now, has lightly bleached knots. Let me show you the contrast. This unit here, let's see. If you can see that, do you see those dark dots in the part, right in the middle of the part? You'll see these dark dots. They're very tiny, but that is the difference, okay? Because when you don't want to put on a closure and have it look like, you know, a polka dotted scalp. All right, so that is an unbleached unit. All right, our units will be bleach knots. Okay, gives a much more natural appearance. Much more natural appearance. Okay, so that's point number 2, bleach knots. One more note about bleach knots. I mentioned that the units have a lightly bleached knot. Okay, here's the thing. Some ladies love to bleach their knots at home, all right, because they bleach them just down the part, or they accent where they want the knots a little more invisible. The reason why we lightly bleach the knots, when you go heavy and bleach, and you over bleach your knots, what will happen is, because bleach, what does bleach do? I mean, you leave bleach on a pair of jeans, it's going to start disintegrating, right, and eating a hole through those jeans. When you over bleach a closure, you begin to disintegrate the knot. You begin to damage the integrity of the knot, okay? So we don't over bleach the knots. If a lady buys the unit and says, you know what, I want a little bit more invisibility right down the center, because I'm going to wear this as a center part, go for it. You know, that's what we call aftermarket tweaking. If you want to tweak it aftermarket, you know, some ladies will pluck and tweeze, you know, but the way we sell the closure is going to be a lightly bleached knot, okay? And light tan lace. Great. Feature number 3, baby hair. Every unit will have baby hair, just to give that extra finish on the end, okay? So it's not so stark of a beginning at your hairline. Let me show you the contrast. This is a unit, and I'm kind of saving this because I want to show this one a little later. This unit has no baby hair at the top. Do you see that? It just starts with the long lengths, all right? This unit, you can see the little baby hair, all right, just to give a little more natural appearance there at the hairline. So feature number 3, the closures, all closures from JACE will have baby hair. Okay? Okay, what we're about to get into is density. It's really, really important because it's really the main reason why most people didn't like closures, you know, a few years back, because the density was too thick. It looked too wiggy. You know, aside from the placement not being, or, you know, them not being installed properly, just the thickness, the heaviness of the density really turned people off. So the main thing that we wanted to create closure pieces with densities that looked natural, like really natural. Not so low where you'll have some issues where the unit will begin to bald over time as you have strand loss through wear and tear. You don't want it to be too low, but when it's really high, it tends to give that wiggy look. Okay, so what we did is, and we're not going to get into percentages of our densities or anything like that, but we used a really, what we think is a really nice combination to give you natural along the hairline, because most people's hair, the hairline is thinner, and then it begins to gradually get thicker as you enter into the crown. So that's how we designed our closures, to kind of start, you know, with a little lighter and then get a little thicker as you go up. So I hope you like it. Let's take a look at the density on these units. Feature number 4, which was really, really important. Density. I want to pick this unit back up and talk to you about density. This is the number one thing that if you get it wrong, it will look like, you know, when people say, oh, I don't like wearing closures because they look really wiggy. This is the reason why they look wiggy. If your density is not low enough, the unit will look extremely wiggy. When you go around the hairline, your natural hairline, our hair is thinner around the hairline, and then it thickens as you move into the crown. when you design a closure and it's ultra thick at the front, it's going to give you that wiggy look. And we wanted to make sure that that is not the way our closures looked, okay? So it's got a very natural density. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I mean, that looks so natural. It's got a very natural density. But here's the other flip side. If you create a unit and the density is too low, over time, when you have normal strand loss through wear and tear, you will start to lose too many strands and the unit will begin to bald, okay? Begin to look bald. That is not what we were going for. So we wanted to create just the right balance of natural density, but also substantial amount of strands on the unit so that it would stand the test of time for you. Okay, let me show you the contrast of a heavier density unit, and you'll see what I mean in terms of it not looking natural. Now, this has a couple of different problems. It's just not a well-made unit, all right? This is a sample we wanted to show for what not to do. Kind of like that show what not to wear. Yeah, this is what not to wear. Now this happens to be a silk closure, but I wanted to show you density-wise. Do you see how thick that part is? I mean, it's thick, thick, thick. I'm going to put it on my forehead. It's going to look horrible because I'm putting it on my forehead, not on my head, but I just want you to see how bad this looks. Hey, y'all. Look at that. Do you see what I mean now? Look at that. Imagine walking down the street with that. I mean, look how thick that part looks. That's horrible. You do not want that. That is not what you want. All right. Now, of course, it looks crazy because I have it down so low because I have hair on. All right. But I just wanted to show you that is not what you want. That is a very thick, very heavy density unit. And this is what I'm talking about. It creates that heavy thickness around the hairline that does not look natural. Okay. All right. Okay, and this is our Wild Child Mild, okay? So this is the Wild Child Mild closure. Those lights are pretty high, you guys, so you're probably not seeing it the way I am, but it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, now this one, I want to point out, this one was one of our examples of unbleached knots. It's hard to kind of tell that one there. But I want to show you the texture on this Wild Child Mild. Let's see. It's beautiful. I mean, it is truly, truly gorgeous. You've got that gorgeous coarse texture, all right? And if you could look at this way as if this was your scalp. Do you see that poofiness, that fluffiness there in the texture? That's just how our hair looks when it's African American hair, when it's been, or let me say Afro textured hair, that's more accurate. Afro textured hair when it's been blow dried and maybe just a little quick little press and comb. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, really quick note, all right? The Wild Child Mild will be great as a top piece to your very coarse straight installs. This is a great, great topper to your very coarse straight Russian Fede installs, all right? If you're not a Design by Nature customer, but you love the Wild Child Mild, the Wild Child Mild will work great with the very coarse straight, okay? All right, let's move on to silk closures. Okay, ladies, so what we say with the closures is, you know you're wearing a really good closure when somebody asks you, how did you blend your leave out so well? How does your leave out blend so well? That's when you know, okay, I'm wearing a good closure. My closure looks good. You know what I mean? When they're asking you, how did you blend your leave out? If, you know, people used to say, oh, you know, what was that? People used to say, you know, I want them to think it's my hair. Well, everybody wears weave, okay? Everybody knows it's a weave. You know what I mean? But you don't want them to know it's a closure. You don't want them to know you're wearing a top piece, okay? So if you're wearing a really good closure with really good density that's nicely made and beautifully blended, they're going to be wondering, how did you blend your leave out so well? And that's what you want. That's the goal. Okay, ladies, we are moving now to the silk closures, all right? And this is what the Russian Fede line will be in, the silk. All right, so you can see a really quality sewn backing there. Very nice quality, reinforced, padded silk with a lace lip. All right, and what's the purpose of the lace lip? Purpose of the lace lip is for a more natural hairline. Okay, so you've got your silk, so you don't have to, there's no need to bleach any knots, okay, throughout the closure. And then you've got the lace lip just for more transparency along the edge. All right, I want to show you the contrast. This is a very well-made silk-based closure. Let me show you the contrast. This is also a silk closure, but look at the difference. Look at the difference. There's no, I mean, this is very rough to the touch underneath. All right, there's no padding on the back. It's not finished properly. All right, there's just a piece of silk that's been sewn onto the closure and knotted. When you compare that to this, you see this one is much more, it's just a better made unit. Okay. All right. And so this right here is extremely soft to the touch, very soft, very buttery. All right. And some of our customers who are going through radiation, chemotherapy, suffering through cancer, you know, really need something soft. We will have more to come with regards to serving that population. You'll hear more from us towards the end of the year in January. But as it relates to closures, you know, this soft top is really, really nice. Very, very nice. Okay. All right. So that's the back of the silk closure. Now let's look at this side. Okay. Now I want you to really key in on that density. Do you see this? First of all, this is satin soft hair, satin soft natural straight, okay? Look at this. Look at that density. Look how natural that looks. Do you see that? No matter where you part it, no matter where you put your finger through that unit, you are looking at natural looking scalp, light. You know what I mean? It's not that heavy, thick density. It is natural as can be. Look at that. No matter where I separate it, it just looks like scalp. Nothing but scalp, honey. Nothing but scalp. I mean, that is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Now, this is let's talk about the silk closure specs. This is a darker flesh tone silk. All right? A darker flesh tone silk. Let me get this together a little bit. Darker flesh tone silk. Okay? The Russian Fede closures will come, the silk closures will come in darker flesh tone and lighter flesh tone. So lighter flesh tone would be ladies who are my complexion, okay, and lighter, including Caucasian, Latinas, all right, my complexion and lighter. And then for browner, you know, mocha colored and darker colored skin tones, espresso colored skin tones, you want to go with this darker silk, all right, darker flesh tone. So you'll see those options on the website, a darker and a lighter. And the reason why we did this, okay, because some ladies, when they get a lighter silk closure, like this one, this is this poor quality one we showed. And do you see how light that is? See how light, bright that is? That's great, you know, for Caucasian women. For ethnic women with darker skin tones, what ladies would do is they take a tea bag, you know, steep the tea bag, and they would dip their unit in tea to try to stain the silk darker so it would match their skin. So instead of having to go through all that trouble, we have a darker flesh tone and a lighter flesh tone, so you don't have to worry about tinting your own closures at home, your own silk closures at home. Okay, all right, and the Russian Fede natural straight closures will be available in satin soft, in slightly slash medium coarse. All right. To start for the launch, we will not have Russian Fede in very coarse straight. Now you want to keep in tune, you know, with us for any changes and additions that we add as we go along. But as of Thanksgiving 2013, there's satin soft, straight, slightly coarse, or slightly slash medium coarse available. All right, in natural straight. The wavy Fede will launch in 2014, wavy Fede closures. However, if you are a Russian Fede wavy customer and you're looking for a closure, have no fear. You can absolutely use a Design by Nature, either a deep wave, okay, which will give you like this, has a little bit of a deeper wave. If your Russian Fede has a deeper wave pattern, you would go with a Design by Nature deep wave closure in lace. Or if your Russian Fede wavy has a softer pattern, you're going to go with the Design by Nature soft wave pattern, and that'll be available on our website. We don't have a sample of it here on the video, but that will be on our website. The Design by Nature soft wave pattern is our newest pattern in Design by Nature. Looser wave, and you could put that right on top of your Russian Fede wavy if you have a looser wave pattern. And there you have it. There you have it. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful for you and informative, and I hope you got all of your questions answered. And we look to see you on Thanksgiving Day 2013. All right, see you next time.